Y'all, the Lachey's are at it again. They would just not let us rest after Love is Blind. Here we go with the ultimatum where one person says to the other, if we don't get married, I'm moving on with my life. Okay, and so Nick says, all right, therapists disagree with this approach. Like he said that in the first 5 minutes of the first episode. Let me help you understand something. As a therapist, giving someone an ultimatum is controlling, manipulative, and it rarely gets you what you want. However, I have done this in the past, and I know you have too. So before I spill my tea on what happened with my ultimatum, I want to know what happened with yours. Have you done this, and what happened? Did you get what you want? Spill that tea, but you first. So this is a great question because it's very easy to get ultimatums and boundaries confused. Boundaries are about actions that I take to keep myself safe and to promote my own self-interest, right? Which is not selfish, it's pragmatic, and it's smart. So an ultimatum is pushing someone in the corner and saying, if you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm leaving you. Whereas a boundary is saying, I've asked you to meet my needs and you said that you don't want to or you're unwilling to. I respect that. And because of that, what I'm going to do is focus on myself and take action to make sure that my needs are being met. So it sounds similar, but it's different. If you need me to explain it again, I got you. This is a time that I gave someone an ultimatum in my life. So I had just graduated with my master's. I have been with my boyfriend for 5 years. 5 years. So after the third year, I'm like, when are we getting married? What's popping? What he said was that he wanted to be able to provide a home for me as his wife, just like the dudes on the ultimatum is saying. He's like, I don't have the coin right now. I don't have the money. I want to be able to provide, and I can't do that. And me, just like the women on the ultimatum, I was like 24, 25, and I'm like, I got a master's degree. I can buy my own house. I just want to get married. I wasn't listening to him, and he wasn't listening to me. So what I said to him after 5 years, in my mind, I've been waiting for this ring. I said, if you don't propose to me, I'm moving to Las Vegas, period. Can you see how that's an ultimatum and that's not a boundary? I pushed him into a corner and I said, listen, propose or I'm out. So after I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. And so we went through 3 months of like chicken, where I had no friends in Vegas, no family in Vegas. I just really blurted that out. I did not mean it. I had no intention. I had no job. I had nothing. I had no plans on moving to Vegas. I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me. For 3 months, he was like, do what you got to do. You want to move, move. So the last day I was putting my stuff in the car, he came over and helped me put my stuff in the car. And we putting stuff in the trunk, and I just started crying. I'm like, you really gonna let me leave? He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip. Y'all, so we are at the car. He just told me to have a safe trip. I am crying. I am crying, crying, crying. But I bossed up in that moment, and I got in the car and I left. And I drove for 4 days and 3 nights to Las Vegas. Every single night he called me to see how I was doing. He told me he was really worried about me. He never asked me to come back. I get to Las Vegas. I have no money. I have no job. I have no friends. But I said I'm going to make it work. So I moved into the Motel 6 right across the street from the MGM Grand on the Las Vegas Strip. I was there for a couple days. I met a roommate, moved in with her. The rest is history. That was 18 years ago. 18 years ago. I cannot wait to tell you how he and I interact now and what that was like. Okay, y'all, here is the grand finale. So in 18 years, right now today, he is not married. He does not have any children. I never want to get married again, and I do not have any children. He and I are best friends. We have apologized to each other. We apologized to each other years ago, not for the choices that we made, but for the way we handled each other. I was very controlling and very manipulative, and I apologized to him because you don't treat people you love that way. He apologized to me for being so cold and so callous, and he also admitted that he really loved me. He didn't want to be pushed in a corner, and I get that. We love each other now. We talk all the time. And the lesson that I learned is that this is my life, and no one is responsible for my choices but for me. My life in Vegas was lit. Pool parties, DJ booths. I'm on TV here. It's lit. His life was lit too. It wasn't meant to be, but it doesn't mean I don't love him and that he doesn't love me.